Good morning, everybody. It's 9:15 and we're awake. And I thought I would show you around camp. Well, inside camp anyway. As you can see, it's the usual mess. I will start trying to tidy up in a minute. To be honest, I think it probably, maybe, looks worse than it than it actually is. And people wonder why I wanted a big one. Who else could literally fill up a Chiron 4 GT with one person? But yeah, so it looks worse than it actually is, as I say, because obviously under there is just, that's a packet, you know, a bag and boots and jacket, so it looks worse than it actually is. Well, that's my excuse and I'm sticking with it. I won't show you out the back because obviously it's snow, but so you get my drift. But actually that back entrance there makes a very good tiddle station. So when I'm not pea treeing over there, then you've got a very useful back passage. I've had a couple of cups of tea, so we'll have porridge probably about, well, I say, I'll start thinking about getting the porridge on just after 9. There's no real point in rushing. We're only walking about 6 kilometers to the lake behind, so we'll try and we probably ought to get going by 11 though, because you know, in theory, obviously 6 kilometers at home we would probably do in 3 hours if I was walking. I mean, that's basically the same as, actually 6 kilometers is pretty much the same as from camp on Dartmoor, where I was last time, to Fairtor. It's not really much. That was about 6 kilometers when I did that with Bella, and that was about 3 hours or something like that. So obviously we're pulling the pulk, so it might but yeah, I mean, it shouldn't in theory take much more than 3 or 4 hours. So yeah, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and we would still get there, you know, by 2 or 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. So there's plenty of time. But yeah, I don't want to be too late. I'd like to get there and then have a little bit of time there. And then the walk back, I think, will be easier. So tomorrow is actually going to be easier, because today it's kind of mostly uphill to the lake, which is a little bit higher than here. And then tomorrow it's kind of just along that ridge and down. I think tomorrow is about 5.5 kilometers, something like that. It's similar distance, but it's kind of across and down, whereas today is mostly up. So tomorrow will be easier. I've got the solar panel set up, see if we can get a few rays of light from that. Well, here we are. We've just popped out. I thought I'd go and pee over there, so I'm not not desecrating this snow too much. It's quite chilly. I think all this snow, hello, there you are. I think all this snow, and obviously the breeze has picked up, so it is cool, but that is water. So use your pulk for melting water. So obviously it is, when I checked the temperature last night, it was about 1 degree. So it's obviously not, you know, I mean, it is freezing because obviously the wind chill will be below freezing, but, well, the breeze chill. Anyway, I'm going to go and have a pee, and then I might try and tip some of this out. So yeah, it's quite surprising, really. There, it's definitely slowly warming up. I wonder whether any of this is, no, that hasn't, and there's no water in the bottom there. Strange. Interesting. Well, we're sitting up. You'll have to excuse the sound of that. There's not much I can do about that. But we're sitting up. We're not ready to go, but you know, we've got our walking trousers on, jacket, so apart from, you know, my boots, you know, we're ready to get walking. Obviously there's a lot here still to sort out, but we're making slow and steady progress because there is no rush. So what I've done with the sleeping bag is my clothes I put in the top bit of the sleeping bag here, and then my down jacket and my down trousers I've put further down there, you know, into the sleeping bag. To be honest, it's I wore the down trousers last night, but I would have got away with the lighter ones, and I would have got away with you know, with a lighter down jacket, given the temperatures, but I wasn't, you know, completely sure, and I didn't bring my very, very warm sleeping bag. So given that I kind of went, well, I mean, this is still my oldest, warmest sleeping bag. I had a t-shirt on, or a hooded t-shirt on, and that was it. So I was very comfortable, you know, in that last night. I've put some snaps, so I'll put them in the pockets there. The one thing I didn't bring at all, and obviously understandably thinking that it was going to be a bit colder than it is I didn't bring my water bottle holder, because I could have put my water bottle in there and it wouldn't, I don't think it would freeze. It's not the snow, but it's, you know, I just don't think it would have frozen, so I couldn't put my water. The next thing to do is to have something to eat. I think we need to have, we'll have porridge and tea. So it is useful. So basically what I've got is I've got my pot for snow melting. So that's like my work pot. And then I've got my pot for soup and porridge. And then my tea cup. And that's actually worked. That's actually worked pretty well. I probably need to give that one a little bit of a clean. I'm going to need, I brought a pair of lighter trousers. I hummed and hawed yesterday about bringing them, but I think the Paramo it's not warm enough for lighter trousers. So the Paramo I think will be fine, and I can vent them. And my Gore-Tex jacket, I don't think I'm going to build up so much of a sweat. You know, doing maybe, you know, if there was a lot of exertion, maybe I would need it, but I think I can vent this plenty, so I will leave that behind here. But like I said, the next thing to do is porridge. So it's 9:30. I will kind of, well, I'll finish the 13th part of Yellowstone. There's about half an hour of that with my porridge and tea, and then I'll sort of slowly pack around that as well, and then we will get going steadily. It's 10:15. We need to try to pretend to get a move on. So, sleeping bag. I've let the bed down. That's the bed done. So we can put that out there for the minute. I think I've got a hole under there. Never mind. The mat flattens it out. Okay, so once we've done that, we'll want boots. So first aid kit and repair kit can go in there. This can go down there. So we'll put that there. We'll put the lens in there. We'll put the ski stuff there. We'll put the ropes there. We'll put the Duomid XL at the front. The ground sheet there. Poles we can put there. Food we'll put there. Right, and then really the next thing to go in is the stove. This is why I like a lot of foam matting, then I've got plenty of things to sit on that keeps me off the cold. So that one goes in there. Cup goes in there. That lid goes on there. That lid goes on there. Oh, lighter. So that all goes there. And then get the stove bag. And then that goes there. And then we just zip that up. Oh, there's a great big hole there. That can go in there. We really don't have a huge amount of stuff. And put the stove board at the back. In fact, put it lengthwise. The water, we'll just take it with us. These water pouches here, I'm not going to take those. I'm not going to need them. Food bag here. So I've taken snacks out. So tea can go in there. I've got to find, well, there's a meal over there. So that can go there. That can go there. I can leave the pole for this behind because obviously we're not taking the tent. Meal, I'll take all the food. I'm not going to bother leaving food behind. That's just a few bits and bobs in there. That's my other overboot. So you want the heaviest stuff at the back. I'll put toilet paper in in with the garbage, because if I need to go, then it's handy. So I'll put that at the front, and that water we'll just put in there. Right, so we will need these pegs, and we'll grab those pegs as well. So we'll put them there. And then power banks. Okay, so one power bank is in the thingy, charging. These ski things we'll put in there. We'll keep the goggles out. Those skins we'll keep out. We'll keep that filter out. We're not going to need that. And I don't think we're going to need those trousers, so they can go in. So in here we'll put the camera, which we may or we may not use this trip, but we'll see. I'm not worried about it. So that goes in there. Just need to make sure it's flat at the back so it's comfortable. Put that neutral density filter in, compass, and we've got the map there. Goggles. I'm wondering where my lighter gloves are, because they're not in my pocket. I don't know what it is with gloves. I'm always I put that hat in there. That's the stove floor. I don't need that, so we can leave that behind. That's my gloves. That's my warm gloves. But I don't know what I've done with my lighter gloves. I'll put the GPS. In fact, we'll put the GPS in there. What the hell did I do with those lighter gloves? That's absolutely ridiculous. So literally, I don't know. I wonder whether they're in the bed. I'll have a look when I get out. Anyway, so all those bits there then, they all go in there. Oh, one thing I will do before I go, rather than just rushing and not concentrating and just being a bit unnecessarily silly, sun cream and foot cream. I'm going to put sun cream on my face, lip balm on my lips, and foot cream on my feet, and then I'll put my boots on. And of course I should have I'll put the spoons in there. Alright, like I said, I think the next thing to do is sun cream, lips and feet, and then put my boots on, and we'll close this up, drag it outside, and then we will catch up outside. And we'll keep that handy for the camera. I'm going to leave my old tea bags here, and then I'll dump them tomorrow. And then my mats. And it's not too windy, so they're not going to blow away. And of course, as usual, I had rubber bands, which I've packed. Typical. I will come in here and have another look, but I think I've got everything from in here. What we'll do is that roll there I'll put down that side there, and this one here goes down that side, because I like to keep it here so when the straps come up it's quite secure. There's a lot of water in the pulk. I'll move the pulk up. I think what I'll do is I'll move the pulk up a bit. So we'll empty that. And then make sure all your lines are over like that. Oh, I've put my gloves in the snow. That's probably not the best thing to do. Alright, now we can do... We'll have to undo it again because we're going to put the bed inside. Just about. So, we put that there. Right, let's get the bed. Ooh. I'll strap that to the outside, I expect. These pegs here, they can go just go there. Okay, then I've got to get the bed in, but before I put the bed in, I'm just going to have a quick look and see whether my lighter gloves are in there. Hopefully, yeah, there's my gloves there. So basically it is a little bit of squishing work to do. I'll show you. As I say, obviously you can put it on the top, and I'm kind of guessing that if it was snowing, you know, a huge amount, then you probably would want to just put it on top so you're not exposing the inside stuff. So that's in there, and if we need the warm jacket, then obviously, you know, it was up there, and if I end up having to take my wool thing off, then I can just put it there. The tripod is really going to be the next thing to go on, but basically these things here come up through the little loops on the side, go in there, then you tighten it up, and then the same there. and tighten it up. And I'm going to put the tripod across there, so just tighten up those two, and then that's it, we're done. I've got a bit of cord under there that I've put the thing on, so there's not too many straps across the solar panel there. And that spade shouldn't go anywhere. We'll tighten it down, and I'll put the tripod across it. So what we're heading to here, you can see there's a little bit of land underneath, but this is what's left of Bjorn's igloo that he built. So you can see in there, so it's flattened down, but that's the in fact some of it comes back. So it's gone right down to the ground there, so it shows how deep this snow must be. I don't know what it goes back under there. But it goes all the way. I mean, that's a huge igloo under there.